Joe Cunningham is his name. It's created quite a buzz. The Associated Press talks about it. What's he saying? He's proposing an age limit for South Carolina politicians, a cap that would cut off the 75-year-old incumbent, Governor Henry McMaster, and making a veiled argument that even fellow Democrats like Joe Biden are staying in office way past their prime. Quote, our country and our state are being run, here are his words, by a geriatric oligarchy. People who stay in office way past their prime. Some of these folks have been clinging on to power for 30, 40, even 50 years. The folks who are making a career out of politics are making a mess of our country. He wants to institute a 72-year-old age limit for South Carolina politicians, a retirement bar already in effect for the state's judges, and one that would take a constitutional amendment approved by voters to implement. In his commercial, TC, he begins by talking about, I think it's airline pilots and the age by which they can no longer fly. And judges.
I took note. Airline pilots, it's one thing to say like airline pilots, doctors, people who have lives, other people's lives in their hands. But then when you talk about things that people who don't deal with life and death situations, or maybe they do, but not directly, I thought that was really interesting.
That's
not the
one that, it was very compelling.
Yeah.
It's not the one that caught my eye, though.
Which one?
Okay, if I'm doing this from memory, but I think he said that the cutoff for federal investigators is 57. Could that be?
What do you mean federal
we have to watch the commercial.
I'm going to go back to your Facebook page and watch it again.
Okay, and post a comment, would you please?
Yes, I want to
see what people think.
Okay, like someone like Lois said, if his message appeals to the majority of voters, he'll be elected. The clinging to power argument isn't persuasive to me, since all of these geriatric oligarchs have to be elected. In other words, she's saying, wait a minute, people are electing them. So it's not their issue, it's the voters' issue.
Well, it's the same response to people on term limits. I'd like to see term limits. I would like to see you serve, maybe it's 3 in the House,
right,
2 in the Senate, I don't know, and then move on go earn a living. Okay, but people will respond to me and they'll say, we have term limits. For the House of Representatives, every 2 years. And for the Senate, it's every 6.
You got to get reelected.
We have
But that's
limits.
Lois's point. Why do we keep electing these guys?